Hey everyone, welcome back to PTE and NAATI YouTube channel. This is Manmohit. Just for new people out there who are tuning it for the very first time, me and Mohit have been teaching PTE academic NAATI Hindi and Punjabi in Adelaide, Australia from last 5+ years now. And we have helped about thousands of students here face to face and online. And now we have taken this mission and goal to help every single soul out there to get these difficult exams cleared out in the easiest possible way. So in today's video, I'm just continuing the series that we have started as in the introduction of all the 20 different topics. And today we are going to cover one of the important topic of your PTE exam and especially from your writing section. And the topic is Summarise Written Text. Now that's the second last topic of your first part in the real exam. That means in part one where we deal with speaking and writing, Summarise Written Text comes at the second last position. After that, it would be writing essay, which would be covered by Mohit in the upcoming video. Now, without wasting any further ado, let's start this video and understand this particular topic, Summarize Written Text, the overview of this topic, how does the scoring happen in the real PTE exam, the best strategy that I would be giving you, the easiest one possible out there to still get a perfect score in this particular topic, and things to avoid, some things that can be avoided in order to make sure that you end up getting a perfect score in this particular topic. Let's jump straight into it. Now, summarize written text. I always start any topic by writing down the name of it. And as the name itself denotes, summarize written text. That means some sort of text would be written in front of you. You would be getting some written text, and then your job is to summarize that text. Now, first of all, our job is to understand the meaning of the word summarize. Summarize simply means to give a brief of whatever is being provided to you. So whatever number of words that would be given to you in your real exam, your job is to give a brief of whatever is being provided to you. That means if someone is sitting in front of you, for example, the easiest way to understand would be you went to a movie theater, you watched a movie, and then you have to explain that movie to your friend within, let's say, 30 seconds. Now, you are not going to explain every single detail of whatever happened in the movie in a lot more elaborate form. You just end up explaining the main key pointers that happened in the movie so that your friend can get a basic understanding of what will happen in the movie, so that ultimately they can make up their mind if they want to watch it or not. Same stuff happens here. Whatever number of words they provide to you, your job is to brief that out so that anyone out there who is going to read your summary should understand what is going to happen in this entire complete paragraph. Now, in the exam, you can expect anywhere between 2 or 3 different questions. So you never end up getting one summary, and also you never end up getting 4 summaries. It's always 2 or 3. Now, there is a set answering time which is being given in the exam, and that is 10 minutes per question. So every single question will give you separate, that's the keyword, separate 10 minutes to complete, to finish that off. And once you are done with one summary, once you go towards the next question, another fresh 10 minutes would be starting afterwards. Now, we need to understand one thing here, that since it's a separate kind of time, separate 10 minutes on every question, even if you manage to finish your one summary in less than 10 minutes, for example, if you finish it in 7 minutes, still when you move towards the next question, you will still be getting 10 minutes only. They are not going to take the remaining 3 minutes that you saved from one question and then end up adding towards the next part. It never happens. It's a separate kind of time. Now, is there any benefit of completing a question in less than 10 minutes? Students think that, okay, if I'm not saving any time, if I'm not getting any extra time towards my next question, then what's the point of saving, or what's the point of spending 10 minutes on one question? Understand one thing, since it's a typing based task, if you try to speed up in this task, let's say if you finish it in 5 minutes and if you move towards the next question directly, chances are you might have made few spelling mistakes, few grammatical errors, and something sort of that stuff. So since a computer is giving you 10 minutes to complete one question, finish it a bit earlier, 5, 6, 7 minutes, but then do make sure you spend that additional extra time that is remaining to recheck, to proofread everything, to make sure that you don't have any spelling mistakes. Also, you don't have any sort of grammatical errors that you might have possibly made. Now, since we are spending a lot of time to understand this topic, our job is to understand, is it actually worth it to put this much amount of time and energy towards this topic? My answer is absolutely yes. And that's because of the amount of marks that you're getting in this particular topic. You're anywhere getting between 14 to 21 marks out of 90, which is a huge bunch of your marks. So this is one topic which we cannot take for granted and we cannot take it lightly. This topic will distribute marks in writing and reading section both. Now you might ask me, why am I getting marks in reading? Writing is understandable. Now the reason you're getting marks in reading is because since there would be a lot of words that would be given in front of you, so you have to read it first and only then you can type your answer by summarizing it. So if you end up providing a complete perfect answer to a computer will assume that your writing plus your reading skills are good enough. That is why they're going to distribute the marks in reading and writing section both. But here there's a twist. The marks are not equally distributed in reading and writing. They do make it a 40 and 60 ratio. That means 60% of your total marks would be going towards writing and then 40% would be going towards reading. If you divide this number into 60 and 40, on an average, you're aiming for about 12 marks out of 90 in your writing section and about 9 marks out of 90 in your reading section. So still I ask you one thing, if anyone out there is aiming for 65 plus in PTE, which is IELTS 7, or if anyone out there is aiming for IELTS 8, which is 79 plus, these number of marks are going to be a game changer. So we cannot take this topic for lightly. Next, let's understand how the scoring work for Summarise Written Text. Now each summary, now that's according to the official score guide that is being provided by Pearson. Each summary can be divided into these many number of components, starting with content. Next is form. Third is, now these are combined, grammar and spellings. And number 4 is vocabulary. Now the strategy that I would be giving you afterwards, after explaining the scoring component, is that you do not have to worry about the vocabulary part. You don't have to worry about thinking of new bunch of words in every single summary. If you follow that strategy well, your vocabulary marks are already taken care by that thing. So just follow this strategy, easiest out there. You do that, you end up getting a perfect score in the exam. Now the scoring has been divided into these 4 components: content getting 2 marks, grammar and spelling getting 2 marks, vocabulary getting 2 marks, and formation getting 1 mark. If you add up all these numbers, you end up getting 7 marks in one summarized written text. And since you are getting 2 to 3 summaries in the exam, now if you multiply the number, you're getting anywhere between 14 to 21 marks out of 90, which is the exact number that I gave you at the beginning of the video. So I didn't create these numbers out of my brain. These are purely mathematical based numbers. So the scoring is right in front of you here. Now, what do we understand by these 4 components? Let's get done with the easy components first. Vocabulary, we all know what vocabulary means. Some good choice of academic words and complex sentences. If you have a good amount of words in your summary, if the words are appropriate and related to the topic that is being given to you, and if you have written a good amount of complex sentences, you will be able to get a perfect 2 marks in the vocabulary. But as I said, you don't have to worry about it. But then if you do not follow that method that I would be giving you, chances are your words might not be enough, or they might not be related to the topic, or you might end up using some wrong words at wrong places. So either way, you might end up losing 1 mark, or eventually you never know if you end up losing both of the marks. Grammar and spellings, we all know what they are. Grammar as in the grammar rules that you would be using, those commas, the grammatical tenses and all that stuff. And spellings as in how do you spell a word. Now, if you do not make any grammatical or any spelling mistake in your summary, you would be getting a perfect score. If you make one grammatical or one spelling mistake, any one out of it, you will lose 1 mark for that. And if you make 2 grammatical mistakes or if you make 2 spelling mistakes, you will end up losing both of the marks. Now, what do we understand by form? Form is just a short of the word formation. Now, in order to get this 1 mark, Pearson has actually played with us by giving us 2 different conditions to be fulfilled. Now, those 2 different conditions are, first is the word limit. And word limit for one summary is between 5 to 75 words. And second condition is 1 sentence summary. Now, I haven't made any typo mistake here. 5 to 75, it's not 50 to 75. Anything more than 7, anything less than 75. And 1 sentence summary. Now, 1 sentence summary means you are only allowed to put 1 full stop, and that too towards the very end. If you end up putting any full stop towards in between your summary at the beginning or anywhere in between your summary, you will not get this 1 mark. They will give you 0 for that. So either of the condition, if you breach that, they will deduct this 1 complete mark. Also, if you end up typing 76 words, which is breach of the first condition, they still deduct 1 mark for that. Now, the problem here is if you end up getting 0 information, the problem is computer would give you 0 in your entire question. That means if you get 0 information, doesn't matter if you did not make any spelling mistake, even if you did not make any grammar mistake, your vocabulary is excellent, your content is perfect, you still get 0 in the entire summary. So they're very strict about this thing. We have to make sure we get this 1 mark at all costs. Otherwise, we will get a 0 in the summary in the exam. Same kind of rule happens in the content part, that if you get 2 marks, it's perfect. If you get 1, it's okay. But if you end up getting 0 in content, you again end up getting 0 in your entire summary. So they are very strict about the first 2 components, which is content and formation. But grammar, spelling and vocabulary, here the situation is a bit different. If you get 0 in grammar and spelling, or if you get 0 in vocabulary, you will not be getting 0 in the complete summary. You just get 0 in these 2 components. So we have to be very careful with the content. We have to be extremely careful with the formation part. I hope you're with me until now. Next thing we need to understand is how do we end up getting a perfect score in the content part, and why was I saying that we don't need to worry about the vocabulary part? Now here comes the strategy here. One thing we need to understand is that as a typical definition of summary or the word summarize is that we brief out something, we brief out whatever is provided to us, but we paraphrase the stuff. That means we type or we write something in our own words. That's the correct meaning of the word. That's the correct definition of the word summarize. But the best part about PTE exam is that since it's a computer-based exam, computer is not at all fussy about having your words being paraphrased or you guys providing any words from your side. Even if you do not paraphrase anything, but you still give computer what is being asked from you, what is computer demanding from you, you can still get a perfect 7 out of 7 in your summary, not even 6 here. So we don't have to paraphrase in order to get a full score. Now, what do I mean by that, and how is this thing going to be beneficial for you? Think about it. You just need to read out the text in the exam. You just need to find out the main information out of the text. That's the main thing. Main ideas out of the paragraphs. Once you end up finding out the main ideas, your 99% of the job is already done with that. You don't have to paraphrase those sentences. You type those sentences exactly the same word by word, and still you end up getting a perfect score in your exam. In the content part, and guess what? since I was saying you don't have to worry about vocabulary, I still stand by my words. Once you end up typing those main ideas, those main sentences in the exam, those sentences will already have certain good academic words written in them. Plus, those sentences would be academic, so they would have been written in a very complex way. So once you end up typing the correct main ideas, computer is straight away going to give you a perfect 2 out of 2 in the vocabulary part without you guys adding any words from your side. How great is that? Spellings. Now think about it. If you're not adding any words from your side and if you're just copy and pasting, now copy and paste doesn't mean you can literally copy the text and paste it down. You have to still type everything. But when I say copy and paste, it means you just look at the text which is given in front of you and then you type exactly the same thing. So I highly doubt there would be any chance of making any spelling mistakes because you're not providing any words from your side. Form. Now this is again in your hands. You know the word limit, it's 5 to 75. You know there has to be only one full stop at the back. If you can manage these two things, you can easily end up getting a perfect 1 mark information. Left is grammar. Now grammar is another thing that most of the students out there struggle a lot with. They want to keep the grammar part as easy as possible. Stick to this video until the end. I'll be giving you few connectors, few easy connectors that you just need to memorize, not 20 connectors, just 2 or 3 connectors, more than enough. And guess what? With that, grammar part is again taken care of. You don't have to worry about the grammar part even. This is how much this topic is going to be easy for you. Just follow what I'm saying up here. Now, last but not the least and most important part is the connectors part, which I was talking about. Now, since we know that there can be multiple main ideas in the exam, let's say there were 2 paragraphs given to you, or let's say there were 3 paragraphs given to you, and you end up selecting 1 sentence out of each. Now, this is one thing that I forgot to display in the beginning part of the video, is that whatever number of paragraphs that you get in the exam, whatever number of paragraphs that you get is equal to number of main ideas. How great is that? So if you end up getting 3 paragraphs in the exam, it simply means that there will be 3 main ideas in those 3 paragraphs, 1 main idea coming out of every paragraph. Now you even know this thing in the exam that, okay, if I've got like X number of paragraphs, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many number of paragraphs, you know exactly how many main ideas are you after. Now this thing works with any number of paragraphs apart from 1 paragraph kind of questions. Now they are very rare kind of questions, but if you end up only getting 1 paragraph, then there is a bit of a confusion. In 1 paragraph, there is no set amount of main ideas. They can give you any number of main ideas. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be even 5. So that kind of questions will require thorough reading from you. But the best part is if it's more than 1 paragraph, you know you are in there for a treat. You know there has to be 1 main idea coming out of every single paragraph. Job done. Since I'm talking about connectors part here, let's understand what do we mean by connectors. Now I'll keep this part very brief so that I don't confuse you a lot. Now there's 20,000 connectors available out there. But again, as I said, we don't have to memorize all those 20,000 connectors. You just need to memorize these 4 connectors that I would be giving you, and that is more than enough, much more than enough for any kind of summary that you get in the exam, and those connectors will do the job for you. Now those 4 connectors are, first of all, connectors are of 2 different types. They are either similar idea connectors or they are opposite idea connectors. Similar idea connector means if you are connecting 2 ideas which are similar in nature, such as Adelaide is a beautiful city. There are many beautiful beaches in this city. Now, if these 2 sentences were my main ideas, my first sentence is Adelaide is a beautiful city, which is a positive sentence. There are many beautiful beaches in this city, which is another positive sentence. If I'm connecting 2 positive ideas, 2 similar kind of ideas, that is when I would be using my similar idea connectors, which I'll be giving it to you soon. And if you connect 2 opposite ideas, let's say Adelaide is a beautiful city, there are certain drawbacks to live in this city. So Adelaide is a beautiful city is a positive statement. There are certain drawbacks to live in this city is a negative statement. So when you connect a positive and a negative, that means you're trying to connect two opposite ideas. That is when you would be using those opposite idea connectors that I will be giving it to you soon. Now, what similar idea connectors that I'm talking about? Forget and all that stuff. We are going to use moreover and we are going to use furthermore. I'll tell you the reason soon that why are we using these connectors and why aren't we using and or any other connectors. And for opposite idea, I want you to use though and although. Now, why did I say that use moreover and furthermore? The reason is if you use moreover and furthermore, simple grammar rule that you need to keep in your mind is that there are commas on both sides. Whenever, wherever, however you use these connectors, moreover and furthermore, you have to put comma first and you have to put comma at the end. There is no exception. The reason we don't use and or any other connectors is that depending on the sentence structure, sometimes we do put a comma before them, sometimes we do not. So rather than you guys in the exam within 10 minutes figuring out all this stuff that should I put a comma or not, prefer avoiding that hindrance. Just go with moreover or furthermore, put comma both sides. Your job is done. You will not lose any mark in your grammar part. And for opposite idea connectors, it's even easier because if you use though and although, you know one thing for sure that you don't have to put comma on either side. That means there is no comma for though and although. So if you end up using these connectors though and although, you don't have to put comma before, you don't have to put comma afterwards. How easy is that? Now, without using any comma, the best part is you're going to get a full score in your grammar part. So that is why prefer using these 4 connectors. That's more than enough. Now, one question from your side to me could be, can I repeat my connectors? My answer is absolutely yes. Even if you end up repeating your connectors, computer is not going to judge you based on that. Computer is not going to deduct any marks in your vocabulary or any other component. Feel free to repeat these connectors as many times as you want. And again, you would be end up getting a perfect 7 out of 7, not even 6 out of 7. Now, everything is done. The last thing is, let's just practice one question very quickly, identifying the ideas, and let's see how can we type a summary out of it. Now, for example, that's the question. Now, that's an exam question that has been tested many times. So let's start doing that one. Now, if you look at your screen right now, just post it in the comment section below, or just in your mind, just think about it. How many paragraphs have been given to me? I can see that they have given us 2 paragraphs. So if you follow my notes that I have given you before, I clearly said that whatever number of paragraphs you get in the exam, it simply means that the amount of main ideas is going to be exactly equal. That means out of these 2 paragraphs, we need to identify 2 main ideas. As easy as that. Count the number of paragraphs. You know this many main ideas I need to grab out of those number of paragraphs. Now, what you guys need to do right now is just pause this video at this point, read out these 2 paragraphs. Now, please be honest with yourself. You can just keep continuing to play this video afterwards. Nothing wrong in that. But if you're seriously paying attention towards it, if you actually want to not just have the theory knowledge, but also the practical knowledge, have your pen and paper ready. Just read out these 2 paragraphs. Pause this video now. Just find out the main ideas that have been given in these 2 paragraphs. One main idea out of both. And do one thing in the comment section down below in this video. Just post your main ideas that you identified. First main idea, just put number 1, first main idea, number 2, second main idea. And after that, what me and Mohit would do is we'll go through all the comments which you guys have given below, and then we'll give you a feedback based on that as well. So if you would have read this properly, you would have basically got the main ideas. If not, I'll give you the answer. Here in the first paragraph, the main idea is the very first sentence, starting from the word what and ending with the word communication. After that, they just started giving some examples like thus when you teach online and all that stuff. So only first sentence was something which was giving me some main information. And the second paragraph, The main idea is again my first sentence. Until the word well, starting with the word online. After that, they can search for courses. It's all examples. So it might take you a couple of tries to get the main ideas right. Even if you got the main ideas wrong, doesn't matter. It's your first time, I'm pretty sure, doing it. Even if you have done it multiple times, you might need a bit more practice to get the hang of the main ideas right. So there's nothing to be demotivated about. One day or another, you would be able to get the hang of it with proper practice. Now, once we know our main ideas, which is the first sentence of both of the paragraphs, next thing I ask you is that are these two main ideas similar in nature or are they opposite? The answer is they are similar in nature. Now, how do I know that? It's common sense. They say what makes teaching online unique. Now, if you know unique means something which is important, it's a positive word. It uses internet, especially the World Wide Web, as the primary means of communication. So nothing negative has been said in the sentence. Plus they used the word unique. That means that sentence is positive sounding sentence. If I come towards this sentence, they say online learning offers more freedom for students as well. Freedom means independent, which is again a positive word, which means that's another positive statement. Since I have got two sentences which are positive in nature, that means they are similar in nature. And if two sentences are similar in nature, that simply means that we need to use similar idea connectors. Which connectors? The ones that I gave you recently. Moreover, furthermore. One last final thing is, what would be my summary in the exam? Now, summary, as I said, we don't have to paraphrase anything. My summary, and I'll speak out the answer right now. My summary is going to be, what makes teaching online unique is that it uses the internet, comma, especially the World Wide Web, all three W capital, comma, as the primary means of communication, comma, then I'll put my connector, which is moreover, then comma, then online. O should be small now because now it's part of my one sentence. So according to grammar rule, I need to lowercase this letter. So online learning offers more freedom for students as well, full stop. And that's about it. That completes my summary. You guys might be wondering and maybe laughing even that it doesn't even make any sense. Trust me, there's many things in PTE exam which doesn't make any sense at all. But guess what? Pearson is happy with these answers. They are still going to give you a perfect score. How do I say this? With over 5 years of experience, giving 20 plus exams, this is one thing that I've concluded, that this is one strategy that they have made intact. They haven't changed it yet. I'm not sure when they're going to change it. They do make changes every year, but from last 4 years I've seen that they haven't changed this strategy, and I'm assuming, as per my experience, they're not going to do it anytime soon. So feel free to use that because it is going to work. It is going to give you a perfect score. Now, if you count up the number of words that you have written, let's say by looking at these sentences, you have written 25 words, just making a random guess. Now, you might be thinking that, hey, 25 words is such a small collection of words. 25 isn't enough. Do I need to add more sentences, or do I need to do something? Because 25 doesn't sound much. But again, guess what? One thing we need to understand, the requirement of this topic is being met. The word limit that computer is asking from you is anywhere between 5 to 75. They aren't saying that you have to type as closer to 75 as possible. They just want to see, is your word limit between 5 to 75 or not? If it is, they're happy to give you a perfect score, provided your main ideas are there, provided you did not make any grammar mistake, provided if you did not make any spelling mistake, your vocabulary is excellent, and your one sentence summary is there. That means only one full stop is there at the back. So 25 word summary, my main ideas are there. I did not paraphrase. With this answer, I would be getting a perfect 7 out of 7 in the exam. As I said, not even 6, a perfect 7 out of 7. So one task for you guys is that you know this question, so I'm not asking you to do any separate different question and then send it to me in the comment section. Take the same question that is in front of you, just for your honesty and for your more practice in the practical way, just type down the same summary in the comment section below. And what me and Mohit would do is we'll check all our summaries and we'll give you a reply with a feedback that is it correct or not. So you have the comment section of YouTube, utilize that. We are there for you. Comment if you have any sort of questions in regards to this topic. Do make sure you guys ask that in the comment section below. If you go to our previous videos, we are very active on YouTube, also on Instagram. If you have any sort of questions, do make sure you post them down so that we can help you by answering those questions. Again, hey, remember one thing, no question is silly. There is no silly question in the world. So feel free to ask down any questions that you have. It could be in regards to this topic, or if you have any sort of questions in any other topic, just feel free to ask any questions in the comments down below, and me and Mohit would be more than happy to help you guys in your PTE journey. With that, I'm pretty much done with this video. I wish you guys all the best with your PTE exam who are going to give their exam soon. Also go through our other videos that we have uploaded recently for the most important topics. Do watch them out. Again, any questions, do make sure you post them in the comment section below. With that, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.